So good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be with all of you this afternoon, and what a pleasure to celebrate Flory's. Um, what a pleasure it is to be together, all of us celebrating the life of Flory Jagoda. I want to begin by thanking Shirat HaNefesh Congregation, Kolot Alev, the Sephardic Heritage International in DC, and reminding all of you that their Greek family Zoom will begin at 4:30 instead of 4 today, just to allow us to have a little bit more time ourselves. I also want to thank Sarah Hyams and Mary Mihaly, and Cantor Gustavo Gitlin and Juan Pablo Pinilla, who have been going beyond everything to make sure that this program can happen. So thank to all of them. It's interesting that Flory passed away on Shabbat Shirah on January 29th, 2021. And I am incredibly honored to have among us some of the very, very beautiful people that have known Flory and that are they themselves real stars in the Sephardic firmament. I want to begin inviting Rabbi Eliezer Papo, who comes, probably some of you know, with great zchut, with great merit, as his name is also the same name of the famous rabbi of Silistra, Bulgaria, who actually wrote the Peleioets. But Dr. Rabbi Eliezer Papo was born in Sarajevo, and he's an incredible figure in Sephardic culture. He teaches oral Jewish literature and Jewish folklore and Sephardic culture at Ben Gurion University, and we just heard him talk about former Yugoslavian poetry, Sephardic poetry, just a few hours ago with Liliana Benveniste, who also is going to be with us. So it is my great, great honor to invite Rabbi Eliezer Papo to talk to us a little bit about Flory Jagoda and make sure that we begin to get to know more about her through his eyes. Eliezer?
Well, buenas noches and good evening. And thank you, Ramón, for this presentation. And thank you for inviting me. And thank you all for being here. It's an honor and it's a pleasure to speak about Flory. Actually, I got to know her personally only in the autumn, the end of the summer, autumn 2009. It was Beyahad. It was kind of a cultural scene of ex-Yugoslav Jewry. And she came there to give a concert. And I mean, I've been listening to her music 30 years before that. And all of the sudden to see her in person and to be even able to sit with her and discuss with her. And later we stayed friends and we were exchanging mails and so on. It was kind of meeting Maimonides or something like that. That's not something you expect to happen in your life. She was a legend. As far as, I mean, I don't know, maybe for older people, she was not. Maybe some people, later I learned that grandma of a good friend of mine was related and so on. So there probably have been older people who related to her, as a neighbor of this and cousin of this and so on. But for me, she was a legend. And it's interesting actually to see that there's quite few people from Sarajevo tonight. So this will also be an opportunity to check on my own memory, because as far as I can remember, she was actually the harbinger that brought about you know, the renaissance of the Sephardic music in Bosnia as performative music, as the music that's relevant for young people, and so on. Actually, before her CDs and before her long plays and so on, Sephardic music was somehow something related to home, related to, you know, what we call in Hebrew arba amot, the four walls. And then it was also, you know, kind of folklore and kind of investigation, research, ethnomusicology. There was Ankica Petrovic, a famous musicologist from Sarajevo, and she was collecting the stuff. Rikica Ovadia made this famous radio show on Sephardic music in Sarajevo, but it was always something, you know, that belonged to the world before the Holocaust, that belonged to the world before the trauma and before the cataclysms, before the catastrophe. And then when her discs, or it wasn't discs actually, it was a long plays, when they appeared, and it was coming from America, and it was kind of strange. You know, everybody was listening punk and whatever, I don't know, rock and roll. But then all of a sudden, this was like kind of giving the Teudat Echsher, as we say in Hebrew, is kind of saying, well, it's modern, it's relevant, it's kosher, it's and so on. And then after that, immediately, and I see that Rafael he's here, and his son also, Renato. I believe that very soon after the appearance of this music, of Flory's music, they appeared as a group, and then later their own recorded music, and so on. I will say few words. She became, I mean, her songs became so part and partial of the Bosnian Sephardic tradition that later, when I was organizing an evening in Israel related to Hanukkah, and then I said that whatever, the musicians should play Hanukkah Lindastaki. And they told me, okay, but we need to pay, you know, the how to call it, the author properties. And I was like, but no, that's, you know, that's Bosnian Sephardic folk song. And then I went to check, and it wasn't. It was Flory Jagoda, but it was, I mean, it was so deeply recognized to articulate she was, I mean, many of her songs were traditional songs. Some of her songs were traditional songs that she kind of, you know, reinterpreted, changed, and so on. But many also were songs that she created herself. She wrote the music, she wrote the text, and sometimes also these were translation from the already existent Serbo-Croatian songs like Spalato di Noce, where she took the existent music and translated the text from Serbo-Croatian to Ladino. But for us, for many of us, you know, if Flora is singing it, it must be traditional, because she became a tradition. She not a tradition, she became the tradition. Now, pay attention that she was also she was not commercial at all, and she was actually performing her art in her own native ethno language, we could say today. And many a time people didn't pick on certain word because she was pronouncing it the way it's pronounced in Sarajevo Ladino. I'll give you just one example, again from the same song. Ocho candelicas, right? And then the refrain goes una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas. And then the way Flora sings it, cinchu candelicas. She doesn't sing cinco, she sings cinchu. And she couldn't care less if people get it, if people don't get it. That's the way it's pronounced. She was like paying homage, you know, to her community, to her language, and so on. She was not trying to impress Sephardic public all around by writing music for them in the dialect which had the most survivors. So, you know, getting along with what's considered to be the koine of Ladino today. Many a time, she pronounces also the Turkish words the way they are pronounced in Sarajevo Ladino. And this brings like overwhelming majority of the people who interpret her songs today to make terrible mistakes. For example, in one of her songs, Madre mia si mi muero, my mother if I ever, or when I die, right? So the song goes, Madre mia si mi muero, que me lleven devagar, make them take me out slowly, que me lleven devagar, que vean que soy mucha chica, made them see that I'm young, that I'm a young girl, que se metan a llorar, and let them start crying. And then she sings, Aiva Shikirola, Aiva Shikirola. And then people believe that she's singing Halva Sheker Ola, which means I'm bringing to you halva and the sugar. And then, you know, there are already interpretations, how in Muslim community in Bosnia, it's customary to bring halva when people die. So whatever. Now, it all doesn't have anything to do with Bosnian Ladino. In Bosnian Ladino, Aiwa is something when you say, when somebody is singing the song that you exactly wanted to hear at that moment, you say Aiwa, and that's Arabic. And then Shikirola is thanks to God. What's called in Arabic Nushkurlah, what's called in Turkish Şükür Allah, and then in Bosnian Sephardic pronunciation, it becomes Shikir Ola, but that actually means thanks to God. I'll say only few more words. One of them is there is a famous, I mean, when I met her, I told her, well, you know what, you are exactly Altarats, because Altarats were known in Bosnia to be kind of short, even though they had totally beautiful misinterpretation of their own name. Not knowing or not knowingly that the name actually means Schneider. And there is also, you know, sevocation parallel to it, Terzic. Altaras in Arabic, in Andalusian Arabic, is actually the same thing as Terzic in sevocation in Bosnian, or as Schneider in Yiddish, or as Hayat, whatever. But our Bosnian Altaracis, they didn't know any Arabic anymore, and they believed that their name meant, or that the meaning of the name is Alta Ratza, right? The high race. And then people were repeating this, and it was kind of funny to hear it from one of the shortest families. So in any case, when I met her, she proved, sometimes, you know, sometimes, and I'm finishing with this, but sometimes you are afraid actually to meet a legend. You are afraid to meet a legend because you don't know, you know, legends can be too cold and too unnatural and too famous and too starry and too Hollywood and too whatever. And many a time, I mean, even before meeting Flory and after meeting Flory, I met other people. I had the honor and the opportunity to meet other people who were important in my life. And I mean, in my formative years. And then later when you meet them, sometimes you are kind of reserved, how it's going to work out. And she proved to be, I mean, everybody's grandma and everybody's aunt and everybody. She was such, I mean, before everything, after everything, in the middle of everything, during every single moment of everything, she was a beautiful human being. And that's what I have to say.
Merci mucho. Thank you so much for wonderful presentation and explanations of how you saw Flory. I would like to go on and talk about her granddaughter, Ariel, who's going to be singing L'Amor. So Flory has a book of hers called the Flory Jagoda Songbook. And in there, she says something really extraordinary about the songs. This sometimes the old sayings tell it best. If you are blessed with love in your youth, it will enrich your old age. And then the song says, love is like the flowers, the beauty of many colors, like a rose, sweet and blushing, like the scent of fresh jasmine. And I have the immense honor to invite Ariel to sing for us. Ariel is not only a singer, she's also a visual artist. And we are delighted, Ariel, that you are able to be with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I loved my Nona, still do very, very much. And I see her in every flower and everything else. So I'm happy to be here singing. So yes, as Ramon said, I'll be singing L'Amour. L'amor es como las flores, la hermosura de mucha color, como la rosa dulce y rosada, como el huesmo de fresco jazmín. L'amor es como las flores, la hermosura de mucha color, como la cuna, madre y físico, y la oración de Shema Israel. Si Dios nos da buen amante ves, con amor viene buena dice. Como la rosa dulce y rosada, y las flores de Shabbat, y las flores de Shabbat. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure to have you among us. I want to invite now somebody that comes all the way from Istanbul, Izet Israel Bana, who is together with Karen Sarjon, the founder of Los Pájaros Sefardis, the Sephardic birds. Beautiful, beautiful. And then immediately after that, also the founder of the Estrellitas de Istanbul, who you I understand celebrated, is it 15 years in 2020 with them?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Bishra Tova. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit, and then we're going to have the songs that you so lovely recorded for us.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to speak in Ladino because my English not very well. Sorry very much.
Okay.
Estoy muy orgulloso de estar vos entre vosotros.
I'm very happy to be with you.
Ocho Kantikas, Hanukkah, Purim Lano, Chichi Bunichi y Madame Gaspar fue las canticas que metimos a los dos discos de ella.
These are the songs that we have put together in two of Flory's records.
Estoy muy contento de que entró esas canticas en un CD. La cosa que no me olvido cuando nos encontramos con ella primera vez y le dijimos, Madame Flory, no, a mí no me llame Jansina, yo soy vuestra nonica, nona que me llames a mí, dijo.
What I remember the best is that that when I met Flory, I said, Madame Flory, and she says, no, don't speak to me like that. I'm your nonica.
Estoy muy orgulloso que la conocí y me ambicé muchas cosas de ella para cantar el ladino. Me ambicé la disciplina de la escena, como va a ser de ella, más de lo que sé. Con su mirada nos dio lección.
So I learned a lot of things from her, and she has given us, with her looks, a reason to be.
Tu camino que esté en luces, cada cantica que vamos a cantar, te vamos a nombrar.
In every single song, she's with us. Thank you, merci mucho, Izette. And now we're going to hear two beautiful canticas that Izette has recorded for us, Los Primos Hermanos. Cousin Aaron is taking Cousin Jan shopping, and they are going to buy some chocolates, little candles, 2 hats, and toys. And then we're going to hear from him also this other beautiful cantica that is called La Mezuzá de Arónico, the Mezuzá of Aaron. So if Juanpi, you can run them for us.
Los primos hermanos ya se van a la botica a mercar chocolatas y bombonicos, 2 chapellos y jugueticos. Chocolata y bombonicos, 2 chapellos y jugueticos. Los primos hermanos ya se van a la botica a mercar 2 naranjas y panisico, 2 camisas y pan de rico, 2 naranjas y panisico, 2 camisas y pan de rico. Los primos hermanos ya se van a la botica a mercar chocolatas y bombonicos, 2 chapellos y jugueticos. Chocolata y bombonicos, 2 chapellos y jugueticos. Cuando entras a casa, besa la mezuzá. Cuando entras a casa, besa la mezuzá. Con un besico dulce y sabrosico. Con un beso dulce y sabrosico. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Cuando sales de casa, besa la mezuzá. Cuando sales de casa, besa la mezuzá. Con un besico dulce y sabrosico. Con un beso dulce y sabrosico. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 di 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 da. Ya da 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 di 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 da. Ya da 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 di 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 da. Ya da 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 di 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 da. Ya da 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 di 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 da. A Flory.
Merci mucho, Izette. What a beautiful rendition. Thank you so much. And now, of course, after Izette sings, we have to have the only youth choir that sings in Judeo-Español in the world. And they are Las Estrellitas de Istanbul. And Juanpi, if you can show us this beautiful video of these kids, 35 members, boys and girls between 8 and 14 years old.
Buen Shabbat, con salud y vida. Buen Shabbat a toda la familia. Buen Shabbat, con salud y vida. Años muchos, con paz y alegría. La la la, 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 la la la. Buen Shabbat, con salud y vida. Buen Shabbat a toda la familia. Buen Shabbat, con salud y vida. Años muchos, con paz y alegría. La la la, 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 la la la.
Thank you so much, Izette, for making a great group of kids that are bringing Judeo-Español into our lives. Now it's my pleasure to bring a dear friend of mine all the way from the city I was born in, Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm talking about Liliana Benveniste, who is a force in Sephardic music. And she does everything. She researches, she has Sephardic culture everywhere, teaching the language, the customs, the songs. she created together with Marcelo, her husband, Sefarad and the Sefarad Center. Whatever I can say would take an hour, so I prefer to just stop it here and tell you that Liliana is going to sing something that is coming up, Pesach a la mano. So as Pesach is coming, it says Purim is over, Pesach is at hand, matzot are being made, the stuffed leaves are being baked. Almighty God, give us good fortune. So, of course, as we are coming all the way from Purim to Pesach, what a very fitting description for us. Thank you, Lily.
Hi, everyone. First, I want to say thanks to Ramon for inviting me to participate in this meeting to remember dear Flory through her music. I never had the opportunity to meet Flory personally. However, I got to know her through her musical work, composition, and concerts. In an interview, she said that when she began to sing, her grandmother told her that the most important thing was that she put her heart into this work. And this is what she reflected in every step of her life. I have great admiration for her ability to reach with simple music and simple words the essence and synthesis of customs and traditions, especially for Jewish holidays. This is precisely why I choose her song, Pesach a la mano, which we will begin to celebrate in a few days. This song only has 3 verses and a chorus, which are repeated between each of them. In the first verse, she talks us about the traditional Sephardic food of the Jewish Easter, such as matzot and yaprakis. In the second verse, she tells us about the importance of doing to meticulous cleaning of the house for preparing for this holiday. And in the third, she teaches about the Pesach essential obligation, which is not to eat bread for 8 days. It is a wonderful song, which I want to sing for you now. Purim, Purim, Purim lanu, Pesach, Pesach a la mano, las masas están faciendo, los yapraques están cociendo, aman, 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 el Dios bendito mos de masa, aman, 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 el Dios bendito mos de masa. Purim, Purim, Purim lanu, Pesach, Pesach a la mano, la nona está diciendo a los nietos a limpiar el polvo, cantones y techos, aman, 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 el Dios bendito mos da más, aman, 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 el Dios bendito mos da más. Purim, Purim, Purim lanu, Pesach, Pesach a la mano, Señor Rabí, dijo a las tías no comer pan 8 días, aman, 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 el Dios bendito mos da más, aman, 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 el Dios bendito mos da más, aman, 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 el Dios Flory, our beautiful Nonica.
Brava, Lily. Beautiful. Thank you so much. It's fantastic to have you with us. And now I want to bring to the scene Judy Cohen, who I have to tell you, I've seen everywhere, and she is like a dynamo. She, of course, a member of Gerineldo, one of the most famous groups of Sephardic Jewish music. And of course, a researcher, a musicologist, a writer. She finished, I just read her critique of recordings, and of course she knew Flory. What can I say other than I'm so honored that you have accepted to be with us. I know you're gonna tell us a few things yourself. So welcome, thank you.
Thanks, Ramon. Merci mucho. Thank you so much. I mean, really, the honor is totally mine. I'm just so pleased to be able to be here. And yes, I met Flory, I guess it's coming up to 40 years ago. I was trying to think about that. It's amazing. I can't believe it's that long. And when I met her, it was with my Moroccan Sephardic group with Gerineldo, as you said. And we didn't sing anything that wasn't from Morocco, but we opened for Flory on a night that she performed at the Festival Sephardic in Montreal. And as soon as she realized that I was the instrumentalist and the one with the trained, music training in the group, she had me come up on stage with her right away and sing Ocho Candelicas and Adiós Querida. And I don't think I've actually sung them on stage ever since then. And we stayed very, very good friends. I'd been already to Sarajevo, to Sarai, and I knew it quite well. And over the years, I knew Ankica Petrovic. She's my colleague. I just heard from her the other day. I knew Rikica Ovadia that Eliezer just mentioned. So, Flory just sort of fit right into everything. And when I met her, she introduced me to Nina Shalom Vuchkovic, who is another legend and the only Sephardic woman to spend the rest of her life in a Mohawk native reserve, as far as I know. But anyway, so I was thinking what to sing. And first I thought, well, I'll sing Anderleto, which is Landarico, the old ballad of Landarico. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to sing one of my all-time favorite songs in the world. And it's Flory's song that Izette mentioned that the Estreicas sing. Actually, I'm sure the Estreicas sing them much more charmingly than I can. Chichi Bunichi. And to me, this song is so Flory because it's a traditional song, but she's given it her own twist and added her own bit of music to it. It's a children's song, but it's more than a children's song. It's in one short little text. It has languages mixed in. It's in Ladino, of course, but it's got a bit of Italian. The Re dell'Anici, the king of the ring, your ring finger. It's a simple tune with Flory's ornamentation. It's a simple rhythm, but it's not so simple. But it's for everyone, and it's so accessible. And I used to sing it. In fact, I recorded it with my own daughter, who's a professional singer now, but when she was only 8 years old, with Tamar. And she didn't like singing it for kids. We used to bring little kids up from the audience and we did a little thing on the finger play with them. But she, at 6 or 7, already wanted to be a big kid. So she would actually not let me do it on her. She would be the big kid doing it on a littler kid from the stage. So I just want to say that on the recording, on the CD, all of you, Betty and Lori, and of course, Elliot, whom we all miss, you're singing it with Flory and you're singing it in harmony. And Flory once said to me when I was interviewing her for a project, a postdoctoral project on innovations and new elements in Sephardic singing, she once said to me, my children, they harmonize things and they arrange things. And first I wasn't so sure I liked it. And then I realized, and this is such a classic Flory thing to say, she said, then I realized they were just harmonizing it in their own way. So here's Chichi Bunichi. Chichi Bunichi, ire dillanichi, esti demanda pan, y esti demanda queso, y esti si no eras buen Dios, vamos a llamar al Señor Rupi. Chichi Bunichi, ire dillanici, Este dice, dame un paquetico, la gainica hecha un godecico. Aquí, 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 para aquí, a la boquita de mi chica. Chichi bonici, iré di la nici. Esti demanda pan, y este demanda queso, y este si no eras buen de Dios, vamos a llamar a Señor Ruby. Always for Flory. Thank you so much, Flory. I miss you so much. Merci mucho.
Brava, brava, Judy. So wonderful. The next person that I would like to introduce, unfortunately, she is not feeling well and she is excusing herself. Her name is Karen Sarjon. She sent us a video that I want to share with you. But first I want to tell you that I met Karen when we went with Flory to perform in Istanbul, also Izet. And we were also part of an impressive Cervantes symposium as part of the concert that we gave, also with the beautiful Susan Gaeta. And she has done so much for Sephardic music and for Sephardic culture, receives numerous awards, researched on Judeo-Spanish folk songs, and she's the coordinator of the Istanbul Sephardic Center, as well as, of course, the founder with Izet of the Pájaros Sefardis. So this song is called Madre Mía Si Me Muero. If you remember, actually, Eliezer told us about the song and how it was talking about the halva and the sugar, right? And halva sheker ola, mother, if I die, cantors I do not want, but 12 young men waking before my coffin, let them carry me gently, slowly, so they may see that I am a young maiden. Then they will cry. So this is Madre Mía Si Me Muero, Karen Sarjon singing.
Madre mía, si me muero, Hazanim no quiero yo, sino de mancebicos, adelante aliaron, alma shekerola, alma shekerola, alma shekerola, alma shekerola. Madre mía, si me muero, que me lleven a vagar, que digan que soy mucha chica, que se metan a llorar, alma shekerola, alma shekerola, alma shekerola, alma shekerola. alma shekerola, alma shekerola, alma shekerola, alma shekerola. Madre mía, si me muero, que me lleven a vagar, que vengan que son muchas chicas, que se metan a llorar. Alma shekerola, 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 alma shekerola.
We hope that Karen feels better very, very, very soon. We sent her a bit of high, a blessing for a very fast recovery. And now I have the pleasure of inviting somebody that has been with Flory for all the time, her favorite protege, somebody who has been singing with Flory, her music with her, playing with her. We have also gone together to Istanbul. And Susan Gaeta, this is the person that I'm sure she can explain things way better than I can.
Thank you, Ramon, and it's such a pleasure to be part of this. I'm sorry that my colleagues from Trio Sephardi, Howard Bass and Tina Chansey, were unable to join me today, but I know they're here in spirit with lots of love for Flory. So I'm a master artist at Virginia Humanities, where I teach and I preserve Flory's music. And I'm so grateful for today because I see there's so many people doing the same thing. And she would love this because the most important thing for her was to continue. The song I've chosen to share is Las Tías. I should back up a little just to say that I was an apprentice to Flory in 2003 through Virginia Humanities. She was the master artist at the time. And we have performed and traveled the world together. We were in Istanbul, Ramon and I went with her, and we've been all over. And now I'm the master artist, and I actually have an apprentice of my own, Gina Sobel, who's continuing the tradition. So continuing is the most important thing for Flory. So I'm so happy we're doing this, and I'm sure she is too. I picked Las Tías because Howard Bass and I were able to travel to Sarajevo with her and do a concert. And we went to Vlasenica, where her childhood home, and I stood in the doorway of her Nona's home, and we saw a few of the houses that were still there of her Tías. Then we went out to the countryside to the mass grave of her family, where she unveiled a stone and we said Kaddish. And so every time I sing this song, it's to remember her family and now her, which is hard to say. And it's such a celebration. It's infused with so much life, as Flory was, to celebrate the culture, the memory of her Tías, the beautiful Sephardic names, Tia Luna, the moon, Tia Safira, sapphire, Tia Mazalta, luck, Tia Gracia, just beautiful names. And so it's a real privilege and honor for me to sing this song. It's a blessing that I can honor their memory, and now Flory's. So I will share with you Las Tías. Tia Mazalta Mulvanyama, noche de Hanukkah. Tia Gracia Mulvanyama, noche de Hanukkah. Para encender las candelicas con toda la mishpacha. Las hanukkías de silva blanca buscaría a limpiar. Ya Jagoda. Días aferramos va llamar noche de Haggadah para comer las albóndigas con toda la mishpacha. Cantaremos un cabritico después de las virajas. Ya nos va a llamar a comer el azúcar. Tía estrella nos va a llamar a comer el azúcar. Con frutas y flores de muchos colores, toda la mishpacha. Con frutas y flores de muchos colores, toda la mishpacha. So thank
Brava.
you. And I want to thank the family, Flory. I want to thank Lori, the women, the Jagoda women, Lori and Betty and Ariel, for welcoming me into the family and for sharing their mother and their Nona with me so graciously for so many years. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. So now I want to invite Rachel Amado-Bortnick. If you don't know, Rachel is because I will say only one word, and that word is like only a little bit, but it's already enormous, and that is Ladino Comunita. But Rachel has been everywhere. She's been in the Historical Society in Dallas, being the president, and he's being creating the Sephardic Friends also in San Francisco, I believe. She has been everywhere. She's behind all of us. Whatever we do is because of her inspiration. Rachel.
Thank you very much, Ramon, for that wonderful introduction. I'm embarrassed. Or as we say in Ladino, me estoy avergonzando. Thank you for giving me the honor of participating in this beautiful program celebrating the life of our beloved Flory Jagoda of blessed memory. Singing and music, which I enjoyed so much in this program, and I know I will enjoy it even more as time goes on, is not my field, though I love them both. So I will talk about Ladino, which, as you know, was the language for which represented for Flory the love, warmth, and happiness of the large Sephardic family in which she grew up. It was also that language and our shared culture which tied Flory and me together in a bond of what I believe was a very special friendship. I say this knowing full well that each one of you also shared a special kinship or friendship with Flory. She was that kind of person. She made everybody she knew or meet feel very special. But I don't know how many of you conversed with Flory in Ladino or wrote to each other in that language as she and I did. In any case, although I knew her music ever since her first long play and then cassettes came out, it was not until she subscribed to the Ladino Comunidad Correspondence Circle in 2001 that we got to correspond with each other. and occasionally talk on the phone also. I was fascinated by the special Bosnian dialect of the Ladino which she spoke, and loved hearing her call me Rachelika la Turquita, little Rachel, Turkish Rachel. I will read to you something that she wrote me way back in December 10th, 2003. Sorry for the phone call. She's telling me that she called and I wasn't home. And I just imagine that it is Flory saying this. I'll try to do that dialect, the way she wrote it down. Ti sto llamando 3 días y no hay ni uno en casa. No sé si es correcto el número. O puede ser que estás viajando. Querida, llama a mí, quiero hablar contigo. Con salud y buena vida. Con salud y buena vida. She was always blessing with good health and a good life. This was actually after March of 2003, when our friendship had solidified in, of all places, Krakow, Poland, where a group of us Sephardic people from various countries had gathered for the ceremony to install a commemorative plaque in Ladino at the monument in Auschwitz. The organizers of that event, especially Professor Chaim Vidal-Sephicha and Michel Azaria of France, had invited Flory to come and sing Arboles lloran por lluvias at that ceremony. That song is associated very much with the Sephardic inmates of Auschwitz for what it says. Instead of en tierras ajenas yo me voy morir, I will die in foreign lands, they used to say en tierras de Polonia, in the lands of Poland, I'm going to die. So anyway, during the 5 or 6 days we spent in Krakow, a few of us native Ladinos or Judeo-Spanish speakers, especially Stella Levy, Albert Garrig, Flory and I spent a lot of time together. The ceremony was very touching, of course, and Flory's a cappella singing brought tears to all of our eyes. You all know that Flory's beloved family, Vlasenica, I don't know exactly how to pronounce that, Bosnia, was murdered by the Croatian Ustasha and thrown into a mass grave at a ravine nearby. And that she wrote the song Arboliko for the little tree that grew on that at that site. It's a very sad story. And I can only imagine how Flory felt as she lit a candle for her family with all the other candles that people were lighting for the people who had perished in Auschwitz, but her story was different. In any case, back to Ladino and Flory. Did you know that Flory did not sing or compose in Judeo-Spanish in the US for many years? That's because her mother, Rosa, was so embittered by the murder of her entire family back home that she refused to speak Ladino and told Flory that the language had died with her family. Only after Rosa's death in 1974 was Flory able to reconnect with her language and recall and sing the songs of her childhood. And of course, with time, go on to compose all those other wonderful new songs. I learned this story about her mother refusing to speak Ladino from Betty, with whom I collaborated to put really Betty's text on about her mother on the Jewish Women's Archive. They have an encyclopedia section, so there is an entry that we prepared for that publication about Flory's life. So I thought that was very touching. And then after Rosa died, going through the pictures and everything, all the memories started coming back, and she wanted to reconnect back to her with her culture and her language. And of course, as you know, she only wrote in her native language.
So, Rafael,
yes,
merci mucho, but we thank you so much, but we need to move on because otherwise.
Sure, I'm almost finished.
Okay.
Let me just, yes, sorry. I have, as we
I know you have so much that you would like to say.
Yes, let me just, I want to do this for Flory. We just heard Susan talk about or sing beautifully about Las Tías. I want to read to you something from Ladino Comunidad, in which I have a few things, but I'll cut it. So this one, we were discussing the verb pelear, which means to quarrel, and she wrote in Ladino Comunidad, in Bosnia, mi nonna siempre decía, tía más alto siempre si pelea con los vecinos. My tía más alto is always quarreling or arguing with the neighbors. It just shows she had a sense of humor. I have another one in which she tells us about what people said when somebody sneezed and so on. So, and at the end, I would like to tell you that one thing that she wrote me, and that's for you, Ramon. In 2004, she writes me this at the end of a letter. Este mes yo voy a estar muy ocupada. This month I'll be very busy. Voy a empezar a registrar el nuevo CD con Ramón Tasat, Romantic Ladino Duets. Muchas nuevas canticas que las compusí yo. I'm starting to record with Ramón Tasat. And she ends with, Te quiero mucho bien. This is our Sephardic way of saying, I love you very much. And this, to me, is real love, because it says literally, I want the good for you. So let's say, everybody here, repeat after me, Te quiero mucho bien. This is for Flory and for all of you. Repeat, Te quiero mucho bien. Thank you.
En nosotros te queremos mucho. A ti. All right. So Sarah Oeste comes from a Macedonian family, and she has been for 2 decades singing Sephardic music in a way that many of us have never imagined. So I want to invite Sarah to come and sing for us this beautiful cantica, this beautiful song that she has prepared for us, called Shiko Yaniko. Sarah? Is Sarah here? Okay. So we're gonna wait until Sarah comes back, and I want to invite Rafael Kamji.
I'm here.
Oh, you are. I'm sorry. Lovely.
Hello, everyone. I am Sarah Arowesti, and like everyone else, Flory has inspired me in so many ways as a songwriter and as an entertainer. Flory was entertaining even when she wasn't on stage. For those of us lucky enough to participate in some of her informal song gatherings, you would immediately be struck by how intergenerational they were. People of all ages came together to sing her songs. And for me, that was really so much of the beauty of Flory's legacy, that she had this universal approach that could appeal to all ages. As a proud Sephardic woman passing my own family traditions on to my young children, I so appreciate how Flory involved kids in many of her songs. And for those of you who have studied her music, you'll notice that many of her songs, some of which have been sung tonight, also include food. Being a Sephardic mother and also a songwriter writing Ladino songs for kids today, combining song and food is one of my favorite things to do. So I chose to sing one of Flory's songs called Chico y Nico, which Flory apparently wrote for her grandson about cooking brecas with him in the kitchen. In this song, he's making brecas with cheese and butter, rolling flour, and making a fine dough. But if you've cooked with small kids, you know how delightful it is, and also how very messy. So you think everything is going well, and then you turn around and there's flour all over the floor and butter in your hair. And Flory just captured that joy and freedom perfectly in this song. And it's one that I love to sing with my own girls. And with me today, I have a partner, a helper. This is one of my daughters who is going to sing with me. And I hope that you at home will sing along. There is a very, very easy chorus that just says la, 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 which you'll catch very, very quickly, and I hope that you will sing along. So here we go. Chico y Nico. You ready? Okay. La 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 la. My kitchen will never be the same. La 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 la. But you're so cute. How could I ever be mad at you? La 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 la. Ha! La 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 la. Everyone, la 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 la. Chico y Nico, come il pastorico, llamus fácil las borrecas con el queso y la manteca. Chico y Nico, come il pastorico, llamus fácil las borrecas con el queso y la manteca. La 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 One more time. Thank you. We love you, Flory.
And thank you, Brava. And I want to invite now Rafael Kamji, who's going to sing for us Spalato di Noche, the song that he so dearly loves about this Dalmatian song. Rafael?
Okay, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay. So, hello, dear friends. I'm very happy to share with you those moments of love for Flory. In Flory's life, there are several places which are important, and I would mention just two of them. First is Sarajevo, Flory's hometown. Flory loved Sarajevo very much. She returned to Sarajevo several times as soon as there was an opportunity. Sarajevo is my hometown as well, and I met Flory and her family for the first time in 1985 when they performed an amazing concert in the Jewish community of Sarajevo. That beautiful concert and her music made a magic impact on my life. From that day, Sephardic music and her songs became my great passion. Thanks to Flory, over the period of 30 years, I had the great joy of sharing and playing her songs with my children, my daughter-in-law, and now starting with my granddaughter. I wish and believe the tradition of Flory's music heritage will never see the end. Last time, we, Trio Kamji, were together with Flory at her place in America in 2015, and we sang together the song Spalato di Noche. Split is another important city in her life. As a very young girl, as you know, Flory escaped from Zagreb to Split, playing harmonica all the way during her journey. So Split became in some way her departure gate to the freedom, happiness, and to her new life in America. Now I would like to sing for Flory Spalato di Noche in Ladino lyrics that she wrote, and one verse will be in Croatian. So please imagine now a picture of a beautiful summer night in Split, small boats on the sea, and feel all the love which brings that song. Quiero contigo, mi amore, una vez más a nuestro María. Quiero contigo, mi amor, una vez más a nuestro María. Spalato di noche, vaporico sul mar, siempre penso de ti, porque yo quiero tornar. Siempre penso de ti, porque yo quiero tornar. Cada noche estás en mi sueño, mirando tu hermosa ciudad. Noche estás en mi sueño, mirando tu hermosa ciudad. Spalato di noche, vaporico sul mar, siempre penso de ti, porque yo quiero tornar. de ti, porque yo quiero tornar. Mi je s tobom proći mare, još jednom kroz naš varijan, to me svake noći snivam, da li će doći taj dan, ta divna splitska noć, u luci male barke, i sjeti se mene i naše ljubavi žarke, sjeti se mene i naše ljubavi žarke. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bravo. Thank you, Rafael. Merci. So,
Thank you, Ramón.
yes, yes, so lovely from Paris all the way to sing for us. So great. And I want to invite now Aviva Chernik, who's not only so connected to Flory by studying with her, she also has, I don't know that everybody knows this, but she has a CD, La Serena, who's actually been promoted as one of the best CDs in Canada, that as far as I know, and is celebrating Flory's music. And Aviva, the floor is yours.
Ramón, buena semana, everybody. It's an honor and very moving to be with you here. I'm in Toronto, Canada, and I want to tell you that I'm the latecomer, perhaps, to this beautiful gathering. I thank God, discovered Flory in 2008 and just started to go back and forth to just visit and learn it with her generosity, and then became the second apprentice through Virginia Folklife in just a few years later. So we had, I guess, in the realm of the whole story, a shorter time, but I would say it was a life-changing relationship and an intimate friendship. So I chose a song to sing for you that I think is, in a way, perhaps the most intimate, because it's Flory remembering Nona, her Nona. And I sing this song, whatever the project I'm with on stage, however many bandmates, I will ask them to leave the stage, and I like to sing it a cappella because it feels like storytelling. And in the way that I feel my responsibility is to actually keep the stories moving to wherever I go. The stories in form of music, in form of love passed on. So one last thing I want to say about this song is I also sing this song actually in tribute to the new maestra, following in Flory's steps, who Susan, my dear colleague, who sang this with such a magnificent grounding at Flory's funeral, and I'll forever be grateful for the work that she has put in. I remember Nona every Friday night. I remember Nona with the lights of the candles on her face as she said her brachot, her blessings. In the winter nights, we'd sit on the settee and she'd tell me stories, sing me beautiful. She'd sing little songs and tell me beautiful stories of love. And then she would put me to bed with the Shema. Ricordusti mi nonna. Cada noche di Shabbat mi ricordo di mi nonna, con la luz de las candelas, mandando suspirar. Longas noches del invierno, más sentada en el minder, buscando las canticas y las lindas consejicas de amor. Nanina, nanina, mi dormía con su shema, mi recordó. I remember, and I remember Nona Flory every time I light my own mirror. Sus canticas y las lindas consejicas y las lindas consejicas de amor. Cada noche de Shabbat mi recuerdo de mi nona.
What a beautiful rendition, Aviva. Thank you so much. Thank you for your emotion, for your love. I want to bring to you now a choir that I have the honor to conduct. This is a song that talks about the struggles of women. It says, Yo me acuerdo de aquella noche, I remember that night when the moon became so bright. You convinced me that you loved me, but now you leave me for another. And this, ¿quién me va a querer a mí? Who's gonna love me? And this is an arrangement that I wrote for Kolot Alev, the choir, like I said, that I cherished, that for the past 13 years, we have been together. This is. So Kolota Lev continues in this month for celebrating women. Not only singing today for Flory, but also next week, a musical presentation on Jewish women from around the world. I hope you join us Sunday at 3 p.m. again. And I now have the immense pleasure to invite Betty, who needs no introduction, to close this in my opinion, incredibly meaningful moment in our lives. So thank you, Betty, for allowing it to happen.
Wow. What a wonderful, fantastic afternoon. So many people I know and so many people I really don't know personally. But the great chats that have gone on, the beautiful music, everything from the heart. Someone asked me on a chat, are we tired of hearing these stories about Flory? And I responded, actually, no. We had this tremendous gift. You know, the last few months of her life, Flory was not really the Flory that all of us keep in our hearts, all those beautiful memories of her singing and taking both of your hands and looking in your eyes and welcoming you and having wonderful food waiting for you. She had, you know, she had lost and faded. And the last month, all of a sudden, she has bloomed with all of the wonderful messages that my sister and I, my sister Lori and I, our whole family have gotten from, as I said, people we don't know, but who called our mother their Nona. So she always wanted to continue, and I think it will continue. About 49 years ago, this month, Flory wrote the La La song for my wedding.
And my wedding.
And my husband says over there, and my wedding. And her little verse just always will be perfect as a thought of her presence in our midst. How good it is to have good friends, to sing a song and share a dance. Let's clap our hands and let's be merry. Let's sing and sway on this wonderful day. And when I wake up and I think of her, it will be a wonderful day. Gracias a todos. Thank you to everybody for just a totally wonderful afternoon. And Ramon, thank you very much for this great, organized, beautiful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramon.
Thank you very much, Betty. Thank you, everyone that participated. Thank you, all of you that watch us here and on YouTube. And because of you, Flory's music and her, of course, her spirit continues to be alive and well. And we are all rejoicing with her because she would have not want us to be sad. She would want us to be happy and go on. So with those words, I thank you, merci mucho, to all of you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope you have a beautiful afternoon or a beautiful evening or a beautiful morning from anywhere you are. And yes, thanks a lot. I hope to see you next week if you can, but if you don't, may we find another moments of great happiness to share. And bye-bye.